So much of the world around working with our painful emotions is
Right.
about like very calmly communicating them. And it's like, you're telling us to repress expression, you know?
Yes.
And so how can we safely express?
Yeah.
How can we express in a way that doesn't cause harm and that also doesn't ask us to stuff down what we're feeling? All exiled emotions are love at their core.
Mhm.
And this idea like rage is love for what has been violated. And
Mhm.
so how can I make sure to orient my expression of anger around love?
This is The Body Knows,
Where we trade self-improvement for self-trust.
and root personal development in collective liberation.
I'm Anna Alley,
And I'm Leona Waller.
and we're exploring the revolutionary idea that your nervous system
With all its seemingly extra reactions
is actually incredibly wise. We're using somatics
and embodiment,
to reclaim the parts of ourselves we were taught to lock away.
our rage, our sensitivity, our wildness, our desire.
Basically, imagine the scientific method meets dancing around a bonfire.
Naked. We're definitely naked. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening, and let's get into it. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the 3 stages, stage 1, 2, and 3, aptly named, of reclaiming an aspect of self. And this comes from Sabrina Lynn of Rewilding, and she has named the stages the triple Ds because it's easy to remember. Dormant is the first stage where you just don't have any.
They don't exist. They're
That aspect of self.
fully exiled.
Yeah, totally. You're not allowed to have needs. And then the second stage is gently named developing,
Yeah.
and more directly named distorted. It's coming out in weird ways. And then the third way is divine, where you can like really embody this aspect of the human experience in like its highest form. And we are talking today about our personal experiences going through these 3 stages. And you can also apply it to working with archetypes, working with goddesses, deities, working with the dark goddess, working with the lioness. There's a time where your inner lioness is totally dormant. She doesn't exist. There's a time where she's getting her legs, her sea legs. And she's
Sea lioness.
Exactly. And she's figuring out when is too much, when is not enough. And then there's like when she can fully rest in it.
Yeah, that like grounded,
Mhm.
embodied, steady, centered way of being in it.
Yeah, totally. Like you were talking about boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have gone through stage 1, 2, and 3 with boundaries.
And like stage 1 of like, I don't even know my boundaries.
Yeah.
Of like, I don't even know my own needs.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tend to yours. And then feel really confused afterwards. I'm exhausted.
Why do I feel so terrible?
And then like this, yeah, and then that link to like that little one inside that says like, I want to belong. I want to be welcome. I want to have worth.
Yeah.
And her being like, we can't say no. Like
Yeah.
we'll lose connection
Yeah.
if we say no. Like
Mhm.
self-sacrifice, self-abandonment. Like it's
Yeah.
the only way
Yeah.
to maintain connection. Yeah.
And what did stage 2 look like?
It initially came out as like the first messy version of it. It was like beating around the bush. Of like not being able to just like directly state
Yeah.
my needs or boundaries.
Yeah.
And almost like this asking permission
Mhm.
of the other person sort of way.
Totally.
Or like still like, you know how like when a dog is in a fawn response
Yeah.
and they're like clearly really scared and they're like coming up to you, but like really submissively.
Mhm.
It's like this, like that. I feel like that so much of the time is like the dog wants pets, but the dog also doesn't want pets. The dog thinks it has to like receive your pets.
Oh,
I know.
poor puppy.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time you overshot with boundaries?
Well, I think the initial overshoot was what we talked about in the last episode, was the coming out as rules
Mm-hmm.
and coming out as like telling someone else's
Mm-hmm.
behavior, like you can't treat me that way.
Totally.
And that like I'm speaking about the other person instead of speaking about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the big thing I think too was like the tone of voice. Like
Mm.
I would feel so anxious inside that I would get like harsh or hard or sharp when
Mm.
communicating these things.
Mm. Developing /
Slash
distorted.
distorted. Oh my god. Yeah. And it would all it could come out as yelling,
Yeah,
you know, especially if like
totally.
I was being met with that level of intensity, like I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
able to keep my cool in the
Mm-hmm.
face of someone else not keeping their cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then this part of me would get like really upset because it's like you say you care about me and yet you're crossing my boundaries.
Yeah.
And I also had a have had a pattern in my life of like being with partners who are pretty like emotionally manipulative
Mm-hmm.
or gaslighty, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so then especially that would like cause so much anxiety inside because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, what you said was so dismissive of me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell me it wasn't, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
then I just lose my center entirely.
Totally. And it sounds like this interesting balance, like from the dormant to the developing / distorted. There's like, it's not, sometimes it's an overcorrection, but sometimes you're just like, I don't know what's reasonable yet. Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't quite yet just have access to being like, nope, that's not going to pass. And like, see you later. I'm going to go on my merry way. Like,
Yes. Yeah, and I think like what that feels like to me now is at the time, although like I knew I should communicate or defend my boundaries depending on how they were being
mm-hmm.
crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a part of me still maybe didn't believe that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, totally. Dude, a big part of second stage is this constant second guessing
Yes.
of if you're like allowed this
Yes.
thing. And I think it comes out as then like, because you kind of hold it back and then it kind of explodes out and then you feel bad and you hold it back again. It's like,
Totally. This
ugh.
like whiplashy, like, yeah, rubber band
Totally.
yanking you back and forth. Yeah, and so, like, I wasn't like, the words I'd have now are, like, I wasn't just solidly, steadily grounded in
Mm-hmm.
this belief. I was,
Mm-hmm.
like, at war with this belief inside
Yeah.
still,
Oh, that's such a good way of phrasing
and so it was
the middle
coming out
stage.
of that as well.
Yeah, you're still not quite believing you're allowed to like have this thing,
Yeah,
this exiled part of self, this self-protection.
yeah,
In your case, in
yeah.
my case, anger. So my journey that I'm going to share today, I think that I've been wavering about the two I want to talk to. One was my relationship to my own sexuality.
Yeah.
And so as we go through this, I'm not going to talk about that one today. I think I can talk more clearly about my relationship to my own anger,
Mm.
but maybe we'll sprinkle in examples that have to do with sexuality because that's a huge one for women.
Yeah, and that'll be, like, one of our hour-long episodes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, good point. We'll save it for that. So my experience, I would say that like when I was young, I was already solidly in stage 2 with my anger, but I remember clearly like 8th grade going into high school. I think it was that summer where I was like, I am going to exile my anger. Like
Mm.
I read a manga, I read a Japanese cartoon, and the main character was like way too nice, and all the boys loved her,
Oh.
and I was like role model.
Wow. Yep.
And to be fair, like growing up, my anger wasn't. It was not stage 3. It was vicious and mean, and I wanted people to hurt. And so like I had gotten feedback from the world that like this wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're going to just stuff that down. So all of high school I was just meek. Meek would be the word.
Mm.
Anger was dormant. Similarly, like no boundaries, because
Yeah.
anger is often what. Yes.
Yeah. Here was an aha moment for me with anger and boundaries. Like, if I'm angry about something, it's an indicator that a boundary has been crossed.
Yeah.
And so I was able to like work backwards in that way of like, I don't know what my boundaries are. And then like I'd get angry and be like, okay, can I work backwards from this anger and figure out maybe what the boundary was?
Totally. Very healthy way of doing it instead of just spewing. We'll get to that part. Second stage. So, gosh, I'm trying to remember when I like started to reclaim it. Honestly, it might be embarrassingly recent.
That's okay.
There's like, I feel like I have been collecting areas in my life where now I'm allowed to be angry again. And it started with like actually like political outrage was like the first place that I allowed myself to be angry again. I am a climate activist in my heart of hearts, and I was studying ocean science and like seeing before my eyes the way that climate change has affected our oceans in particular, and like oh my god,
That brings her out.
that brings her out. And it's so clearly, the planet in theory can't defend herself. We can get into the fine details of that, but as a scientist, when I was in my scientist age, I believe the planet couldn't defend herself. And it felt, I was her protector, and it felt so right. And that also moved into like rage at the patriarchy and rage at toxic masculinity. And that, I would say, is where I started to explore some of my second stage anger.
We opened the hatch,
Yeah.
back out.
Yeah, totally. And would find myself when I was a little drunk in ridiculous arguments with people I didn't need to be in arguments with, and just getting so mad.
Yeah.
And I feel like second stage, I should also talk about this. When I was little, when I just let myself be angry about anything, like when friends did something on accident that, they did it on accident, but I would just be mean. Like I like knew how to wield anger in a way that hurt. And like this is another way that it can be very distorted or developing, of like I am punishing people with my anger.
Yeah.
And like I know how to suck the air out of the room with my anger.
Yeah.
I know how to like glower without saying anything to punish everyone around me with my anger. That does not create a space of safety.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's this, I love it, makes me think of that thing that David Weinstock says of like our little parts, the parts that developed when we were younger, have very unusual strategies to meet their needs.
The other day I was crying into Anna's arms and she said, "Oh, look at your unusual strategies."
And it's a very like gentle and loving way to be like, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean that's trying to like a part of me trying to meet my needs by like being mean and spewing venom?
Yeah.
And it's an unusual strategy, but if you do like look at it, it is a part trying to keep you safe in some way.
Yeah.
And it learned, I'm going to keep you safe by controlling the environment.
Yeah.
And if I like harm these people, they will back off.
Totally.
And then you'll be safe.
Totally. And that's such a good point. Like first of all, we like bounce between these stages all the time, these 3 stages.
Yeah.
And like in some of our life, we may have come in with actually a pretty solid connection to third stage. Mm-hmm. And in some of our life, we've come in with a connection to first stage. Some parts of our life, second stage. Yeah. So like it's another framework. It's a framework among frameworks. Luna, thank you for joining our podcast.
Yes.
We are so happy to have you here.
Would you like to lay down?
No. So then I started reclaiming anger in my romantic relationships. Mm-hmm. I think that's a natural place people express it. Yes. And basically I'd spent so long in stage 1 with anger in my relationships that I was like, this isn't working. Like I did the thing where I would like break up with people and they'd be like, I thought everything was fine. And I was like, whoa, I have not expressed any of the problems that I'm having.
Oh, that is so real.
Yeah. And I then, trying to figure out like how to developing stage for anger has been a lot for me. Like, how do I communicate this? And it's just been like trying nonviolent communication, trying just snapping at people, trying just giving them dagger eyes, and like trying all of these ways of letting my anger come out and seeing which creates, like, for me, I've tuned my sense to like what creates more of a sense of like liberation in the space.
Yeah.
It's not, you can say love. Love also works, but I think sometimes people conflate love with like niceness and love with gentleness.
Right. The definition of love has been co-opted and twisted.
Yeah.
In so many ways, it's hard to maybe use that word.
Yeah, totally. And we talk about that a lot in episode 14, the Dark Goddess episode. So I have now geared more towards like, I have this felt sense feeling in my body of like, oh, like both people, because I'm thinking about in relationship, like we feel more free. We feel more able to share openly. And underneath that is like a sense of safety and a sense of trust. So that's why I like liberation, because it comes with safety and trust. Like when I feel free, it's because I feel safe.
Yes. Like, and I feel these qualities, like if we're orienting around liberation or freedom, like in my body, that felt sense of openness, of agency, of curiosity. Like it's these qualities come in that I feel like can be helpful check-ins as well as like, okay, am I actually oriented around this thing?
Yeah.
What do I feel inside? Do I feel more open? Do I feel more closed?
Yes.
Do I feel light? Do I feel heavy?
Yes.
And like that can help us check in. Am I actually orienting and expressing from a place of how can I liberate this experience a little more?
Yes. And that goes back to why we harp on all the time, like developing your sensitivity.
Yes.
And I think we talk about that in podcast 5, this like intro to somatics podcast, how to start somatics, something like that. And there are practices for, because having access to that level of sensitivity, so you can like feel the energy in the room, in the dynamic.
And in your own body.
Oh my God.
We start there.
So helpful. Yeah. I might get less woo-woo. Slightly.
Am I like getting really tense right now? Am I loose and light?
Yeah. Our body has to tell us the truth.
Yeah. Our body's excellent at telling us the truth.
Yeah. It can't do anything else, actually. So then it's like, I feel like I'm very much in stage 2 with my anger, but I have these beautiful moments of stage 3. So I've recorded a solo podcast about one of them. I'm going to describe it briefly. The podcast may or may not be out by the time you listen to this. It'll be something about expressing my anger. You'll see it. You can't miss it. And it was, so my current boyfriend, Josh, I love you. He is such a stand for my anger. And he's like, I don't want to feel like you're walking on eggshells around me. I don't want to feel like you're hiding things from me. I much rather have you just whack me and being like, fucking stop, rather than making him guess if I'm mad or not.
Right, because he can feel your anger too. Right? And I feel like we've all had that experience, like when I'm with someone and they're clearly angry and like a part of me starts to like tense and tighten and like get anxious. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And if they say anything besides like, I'm angry and we need to talk about it, a part of me is like, no, I can feel it. Like, I don't trust anything you're saying right now. I can feel it.
Totally. Yes, that. And I'm realizing through this process with Josh how much of my anger my partners have felt in the past, and like that actually made them into kind of like these more scared versions of themselves, which I hated.
Right, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. So anyway, Josh has been such a lovely stand for it. So I was like, basically we set up like a scene using like the kink framework, BDSMA, to be like, I want to be
boundaries,
desire, safety, meaning, aftercare. Full podcast on it. Go find it. And I had 5 minutes, 6 minutes to just be in full anger. And like he set his boundaries of like, you can't say this, you can't reference this, whatever. And besides that, I could go for it. And we both felt so much better at the end of it. Oh my God. I'm like, this is the power of anger. Like that was full liberation for both of us. It was so, so, so good. Like this is stage 3. Like this is like, I fucking love you and you're hurting me in this way. And can we please find a different way to do this? Ah! I did not say please very much in that rant, by the way. And I think about that, like stage 3 anger in this world.
Yeah.
Like you can see stage 2 anger everywhere. And I'm not hating on stage 2. It is our sandbox. It is where we develop. But I think there is a problem when we think that we've made it and we're still at stage 2.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We think we're doing it.
Yeah. Okay, breathing break, where we tell you we aren't just a podcast.
So you're saying it's a commercial break?
Yes. We also run programs around everything we talk about on this podcast.
Workshops, online courses, basically spaces where you can actually experience the transformation we talk about on this podcast.
Are you breathing?
If you want to stay in the loop, get on our email waitlist. The link is in the show notes.
Inhale, exhale. Now back to it. Yeah.
And that's where I love this other framework that we introduced through John Weiland, Nina Lombardo, and they refer to stage 3 as making art. How can we make art with this moment? And that if you listen to our other initial Dark Goddess podcast, we talk about how like rage, all exiled emotions are love at their core. And this idea like rage is love for what has been violated. And so how can I make sure to orient my expression of anger around love?
Yes.
And so like what you just said, like I am so angry because I'm feeling so hurt by how you are treating me. And like being able to name vulnerably, I am hurt.
Yeah.
Like, this is a piece at the core. And I am hurt if we go a layer deeper because I love you and you love me. And something is happening where that love can't flow right now.
Yes, that's what it's so. I'm like, there's a boulder in the river of love.
Yes.
And I'm mad about it.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to know, what has stage 3 boundaries look like for you? And it's okay if the answer is you're still dreaming it into existence.
Obviously, yeah, I'm very much stage 2 in boundaries. Oh, okay. I had a conversation the other day, I won't name with who, and they were like, you have to send me that thing. And this is a relationship I have with someone who like I feel very controlled by, very like demanded by, like I just and that type of communication. You have to send me that thing. And like in the moment I just felt the ping and I was like, you'd like me to send you that thing? And they were like, yes, I would like you to send me that thing.
Oh my God, what a beautiful, gentle, like, correct.
Yes. And that's it. A gentle correction, a gentle, like, I'm going to give you the language that I would prefer to hear. And instead of being like, full stop, okay, I need to address this before it gets any farther, instead of like doing a whole like check-in that would maybe trigger them and like make a big deal out of it.
I need to have a repair conversation with you now.
Totally. Like I felt the zing and I recognized the zing for what it was. And then I just offered this gentle correction.
Yeah.
And it came, and I think this is the big piece of stage 3 is speaking from a place.
Yes.
It's not so much about what you say, but where it comes from within you.
Oh my God, that's so real.
And like, let it come from your heart. Connect to your heart, connect to your love, to freedom, to liberation. We can use all these words and speak from that place and trust that what comes out is what is perfect to come out.
Yeah.
We don't have to plan and manage and follow a formula and just like ask our mind. We can ask our hearts to speak for us.
And usually less words. I find this over and over again. Like, how can I figure out how to say the fewest amount of words? And if I'm like, no, I need you to explain something else. It's like, now you're often, for me, I'm trying to control them. I'm trying to like, instead of just speaking from, in this case, like boundaries, hurt, whatever, like I'm trying to like maneuver and strategize and whatever, instead of just being like, I would prefer it this way. Or like, it hurts when you do that. It feels good when you do this.
Yes. Like the qualities I'm feeling from you right now are like openness.
Yes.
And agency.
Yeah.
And trust.
Yeah, totally. And there, like, I loved also the part about like where it comes from in your body. Because so often, since we're talking so much about anger and boundaries, like it can, when it's coming from your face and from your collarbones.
Yeah, and this like pinpointed like laser beam of anger.
That's probably not it.
Yeah,
that's probably
not gonna land well.
It's not gonna land well. But when it's coming from deeper and it's like opening you, when you feel like you're opening, you're not like, I'm not sending you a funnel of fuck you. I'm opening to show you like, you know, it would feel way better.
Yes.
You know, like, oh my God, that hurts. Like this sense of opening as it.
And so something Leona and I are like so passionate about is so much of the world around working with our painful emotions is about like very calmly communicating them. And it's like, you're telling us to repress expression.
Yes.
You know? And so how can we safely express?
Yeah.
How can we express in a way that doesn't cause harm and that also doesn't ask us to stuff down what we're feeling?
Yeah.
And it takes two to tango. And
yes.
The other thing we have to practice and learn is how to hold my ground, my center as someone is giving that to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that will be a full other podcast.
Yes. And I think, you know, we can't learn how to give, we can't learn how to receive as well. We have to practice both.
Totally.
But yes, that framework of like, instead of pinpoint, and that's a narrow closed beam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anger at you and you did this thing, and more of like, I'm so angry. Like I want to feel loved by you. And it's this up and out.
Yeah.
The person is able to be like, I'm in an ocean, but I've got this.
Yeah, totally. Instead of like, protect myself.
Yeah. And so there's so many people in a relationship, and I've been there too, of like, I need you to be able to let me express.
Yeah.
And there's an art in expressing.
There's an art. And stage 3 is all about the art. Yeah. I have another example. Yes. I had a beautiful friend who stage 3 boundaries. I have never seen anyone like, it didn't feel like they were setting boundaries. It felt like they were just deciding what they needed and making it happen. Like the way that they were like, I think I'm going to go to bed early. I could use some alone time. I'm going to go take a walk by myself. Yeah. Actually, I think I want something else for dinner. I'm going to go get my own food. Like constantly.
Yes.
And it just like, I think I'm full on conversation right now. I'm gonna go take some alone time.
Yeah. Perfect.
It was incredible. It was incredible. I was like, what sort of witchcraft is this?
How are you doing this?
Yeah.
Another quick interruption from your regularly scheduled podcast. The Body Knows is brought to you by
absolutely no sponsors. No corporate backing. No one would take us.
Just us, 2 women
who are slightly obsessed with the radical idea that your body and emotions actually aren't broken.
If you're enjoying the show and want to help us keep it going, You can buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/thebodyknows.
Funds go towards better recording equipment, giggle resupplies, and the occasional emotional meltdown.
The link is in the show notes.
Okay, where were we?
So we got cut off. We're back.
At exactly 30 minutes, which was our goal.
Surprise, surprise, we did not make it.
So we're going to keep this short and sweet. Message received.
Okay, Anna, you said something very important about not judging yourself.
Yes. Yeah, when we hear the words dormant, distorted, divine, for me, I'm like, bad, okay, good.
Yeah.
And there's this part that wants to come in and judge.
Yeah.
And judge all of it, right? Good and bad is a judgment.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never use random frameworks I find to judge myself.
Yeah, my inner critic latches onto those. And then we can also use it to like spew onto someone else.
Yes, Jesus.
And so I do love this other framework idea of stage 1 is about me, is about my needs, is about learning to meet my needs. It tends to be unconscious. And then stage 2 is about we and me meeting my needs and you meeting your needs. And stage 2 is this realm of self-reflection and therapy and understanding our trauma and our triggers and communicating them. And like it's this big zone.
Yeah.
And then stage 3 is about making art with this.
Yeah. And that you learned that from Nina Lombardo, right?
Nina Lombardo, John Wineland. Go check them out.
Yeah.
And so from that framework, we can understand, okay, depending on the context, sometimes like I need to be in stage 1 and like I am under-resourced and I need to meet my needs.
Yes. That's so important. We will not be in stage 3 of either of these frameworks at all times.
Right. And we can't be. And so that first piece is self-assessment.
Yeah.
And recognizing, oh, I am super under-resourced right now. I can't be in a we place either.
Yeah.
I need to focus on the me place.
Yeah.
And just resource myself and recoup and meet my needs.
Totally.
Stage 1 is also, I can't be in stage 2 or stage 3 if I don't know my own needs.
Yeah.
So I need to be in stage 1 and understand my needs.
Yeah.
And figure out ways to meet them. And then I can be in stage 2 and then stage 3. And so there's this flow between them. You know, sometimes the moment is, this is a stage 2 moment. I'm triggered, you're triggered. We are not making that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
There's nothing bad about that, right?
Yeah.
There's no judgment. It's about like just being able to accept where you are in the moment and work with what you got.
It's true. And I do find like that, it's such a cliche to say, but like that self-compassion and acceptance of where you're at and what you're capable of the moment, like always makes it better. It's like when you have identified you're not in stage 1 or you're in stage 1 or stage 2 and you're like, I will get to stage 3. I'm going to just hold on so tight and like beat this fucking dead horse and I will figure out how to make art. That's going to be some weird art.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if there's like this clinging, this controlling, this like closing, shutting down qualities, okay, we're not in stage 3.
No, and
Great.
like we are too busy to be in stage 3 all the time. Like if we lived in a different universe where we all just lived in these like sweet little communities with abundant food and water and shelter, and we didn't have to like pay bills or like try to sleep surrounded by city noise and electronics. Maybe.
And like you could get there.
Yeah.
And also that is ninja level shit.
Yeah. It's,
right?
Yes. Some people are ninjas.
Right. And to be a ninja, it takes years of practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I really do feel that like there are people I can just get into stage 3 flow with.
Yeah.
So beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's because we are both in practice in our lives.
Yeah.
And I really struggle to find stage 3 when I'm working with someone or in a relationship or in a moment with someone who's like fully in like an unconscious triggered stage 1.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could make art in this moment when I'm a ninja.
Let me tell you, I have tried when someone is in a stage 1 or stage 2 moment to be like, I'm going to stage 3 them out of this into stage 3. It's going to be beautiful. You know what happens after that? Chaos.
Yeah. Because guess what? You're not stage 3ing them if you say, I'm going to stage 3 them right now. You are solidly in stage 2. You're just unconscious.
Yep. Totally. And so this is your invitation to like start to move through the world, looking through these frameworks, whichever one resonates, whichever one you're into right now. Like I love looking around for stage 3 because I feel like transmission, like we can learn through transmission. So like seeing someone, for example, in stage 3 confidence, like someone who's just like so solidly and gracefully in themselves and like relaxed around other people and happy to be themselves. I'm like, I like breathe it in. I'm like, give me more of that. Or like stage 3 with like their own sensuality and like so clearly comfortable with their own body and enjoying like the pleasure of being in this skin.
And that's the word, being, right?
Yeah.
Stage 3 is about being.
Yeah.
Stage 2 is like, I'm so focused on like, how do I do the doing?
Yeah.
Stage 3 is like, I'm speaking from a place. I'm just being, and the doing naturally comes out.
Totally. And I will say sometimes people in stage 3 trigger the fuck out of me because I'm like, subconsciously, once I've figured out what's going on, I'm usually no longer triggered. But like, for example, I have a hard time accessing joy regularly. And stage 3 joy, I'm like, how the fuck are you so happy all the time? You're full of shit.
I don't trust you.
I don't trust you. You're lying to yourself. You're spiritual bypassing. What's really going on is I'm jealous.
Yeah. And so how can we learn when those parts come up? Like, to be with them. Do not judge them. Do not push them away. Do not fix them or change them. But to be like, you are pointing me toward love in some way.
Yeah.
Jealousy, what would that one be? Jealousy is love for what we know we could have.
Yeah. I think that's perfect.
Like, yeah, did that part get cut off? Rage is love for what's been violated. Grief is love for what's been lost. Shame is love for belonging, twisted by unworthiness. Like, all of these things do point us toward love, but we have to turn toward them and work with them to find the love within them.
Yeah.
And I say love, freedom, liberation, openness, art.
Ease, peace.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever it feels like for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. So if this framework resonated in some way, we definitely encourage you to look at your own life.
Yeah.
And try to understand, okay, where do I usually stand when it comes to grief, when it comes to anger, when it comes to sadness, and then also where do I stand when it comes to pleasure and joy and peace? Like it's not just these painful things.
Let me tell you, people in stage 3 peace trigger the fuck out of me.
Is there a great example of like, okay, if I'm triggered by stage 3 peace, I'm definitely not a stage 3 peace person.
No, I'm solidly in stage 1. I don't do peace.
We can work backwards. We can reverse engineer to figure out where we're at by asking, what am I triggered by?
And right now I'm not called to work stage 3 peace, and that's totally fine.
Yeah. And like, we're not here to force ourselves into this and to use these frameworks to beat ourselves up or should ourselves.
Exactly.
Just to get a lay of the land.
Yeah.
What is my landscape like?
Yeah.
How do I interact with these different pieces of my landscape?
Totally.
Thank you so much for listening to The Body Knows.
If this episode helped you breathe, reminded you you're not broken,
or maybe awakened a long-lost part of you,
subscribe, leave a review, share it with someone who needs it.
And then come back for more.
Because the body is a universe of pleasure and power.
And we're exploring the whole damn thing.